every facility is offered, and I think if you found one that wasn't specifically offered, they would find somebody to look after you. It's the caring. It is the caring and the knowing that it's just about you. There are hundreds that come through here, obviously, and we all realise that. But when you're talking to somebody, it's just you that they're interested in. It's just you that has had cancer. It is you that needs support. I can't speak highly enough of them, I have to say.
The moment you walk in through the door, it's like I've tried to say to someone before, when you go downstairs to oncology, no matter what part of the treatment you're scared. You come in, you are scared. It would be a brave person, or probably a liar, that said he isn't. You come up here, and the moment you walk in this place, there's a sort of serenity that overtakes you. From the desk, to the chair, to the cup of tea. Yeah, it's terrific.
And everybody's really friendly, everyone knows you, and you walk into an area that you feel safe and comfortable in, and also that people instantly understand you without having to talk. So it does feel very comfortable and relaxed here. And I mean, just tonight you can see us all coming along. We're all sat down, and while we're waiting, we're all laughing and joking and having a good old chin wag. And we're just, we're not necessarily talking about cancer. I mean, that's the important thing to remember about Macmillan, is that your life isn't about cancer. You can come along just to be a person and talk about what you are, who you are, and what you do.
I think the patients are often in a hugely clinical environment, forced into that, and that continues for quite a while for them through their treatment. And I think having somewhere different to go, or an alternative way of spending time with someone who can offer you information and support, makes a real difference to their patient journey, really.
I think collaboration and multi-professional working are the key words, really. Nobody can manage all on their own, so it's important that we keep communication very close, and as you've said, we're here for the clinical support and the liaison with the consultants and that sort of thing, really. But the project offers an extra set of skills, extra sets of tools for the toolbox to enable patients to cope, really, so it's very useful.
As a clinical nurse specialist, I suppose one of our main roles is that we're the key worker for the patient. So that is really about making sure that we've got continuity of care for them. We make assessments of their needs, and then we refer patients on to services that we think might be useful to them, like Living With and Beyond, as an example. I also work collaboratively with Living With and Beyond. We've set up a wellbeing clinic for women who are just starting their oncology treatment here, and we are hoping to expand those clinics to people that are coming to the end of their treatment.
If patients are struggling emotionally, then obviously we are the centre of their emotional support, but sometimes people need to have, for example, a home visit. And in that case, we can refer to the project, who are able to go and assess the patients at home, where they may feel more comfortable. Sometimes patients don't always feel able to travel here to the hospital, or it's too difficult, or it's memory provoking, or they're tired. So to be able to offer the facility for people to visit at home is really, really helpful.
Even if somebody needed to meet at a cafe or something, if they weren't, if privacy wasn't an issue for them, we could facilitate that as well. But lots of patients have mobility problems, or after their treatment is finished find it difficult to come back to the hospital for lots of reasons, and so being able to offer that as a home visit, the patients seem to find really valuable.
After I'd been home a bit, I had a really, every time Liz phoned me, I would be in tears and beside myself, and I didn't like what had happened. I didn't want my laying here. And so she said, would you like a visit from somebody? And I said, yes, please, because at that time, I really didn't feel my husband was my husband. And I said to her, I've just got a carer here. And anyway, Annie came out, and it was the best thing that ever happened, because at that time, I think if they'd have said, come in, I'd have said no. Whereas the fact that Annie was able to come out and in our own home, and you could cry, you could
say what you liked and just knew that it's confidential. And it was great that really we could be together to say what we wanted to say to somebody who was totally not involved, hadn't been involved as such, you know, like family and friends. And it was just great. And we've had 2 visits from her, and quite honestly, I think each time we've really felt the benefit of it.
We decided that we'd like to have a support group for ladies who've had a diagnosis of cancer, of breast cancer in particular, or they've had treatments. They've either having treatment, just been diagnosed, or completed treatment some time ago, because there wasn't anything in the area. And we felt there was a little bit of a drop-off when you finish your treatment. You didn't know quite where to go or who to talk to. So I helped to set this group up with Alison and Kim, and since then we've worked with the Living With and Beyond team, and we've been involved in the meetings where they have the ladies who've just been diagnosed, so that we can meet with them and give them a little taster of our experience and little bits of advice that we might have as we went through our treatment.
I feel that we're making a difference, and we've had so much good feedback from the ladies that come here. I've had cards, emails saying they didn't know what it was about, but now they've been, they're so glad they've been, and we're preparing them for what they possibly could suffer, the side effects, because we've had all the treatment. So, okay, not everybody's going to react the same, but we can sort of tell them the bad bits, that, and not all the bad bits, but, you know, prepare them and how to deal with the side effects.
There's a whole range of rehabilitative processes that the project offers, exercise programs, stress and anxiety management, that takes our support a little bit further, if you like, in a different sense.
The possibilities that can come along too are things like how to manage fatigue, also any fears or concerns that you may have surrounding cancer. And that's not just necessarily now, that could be looking forward into the future as well. They also do sort of managing stress and anxiety, which is something that I did, and also laughter and how it can be beneficial.
There's also the active side, where we had a lady that sort of demonstrated you don't have to go to the Life Centre and throw lots of weights around to reinvigorate your physical activity, because I recognise even after post-surgery, after an 8.5-hour surgery, it takes a long while to sort of get back to, you know, your nerves to grow back, you know, muscle tissue to get back to the way it has been before.
Although I'd had my cancer and stuff, all that had been sorted out, but the knock-on effect with me was that I developed irritable bowel, which was more the psychological side of things, and I found that more difficult than the actual cancer itself, sort of thing. And I was going through a really low patch there, and there was times where I was sort of thinking, oh, I can't be bothered to do this. But I would sort of drag myself up with the ladies, sort of thing, and it was a medicine, absolutely fabulous, wonderful medicine, compared to any kind of medicine that you could get out of tablets and stuff. It was brilliant, really, really brilliant. We used to have a laugh and, a bit of laugh and a giggle sort of thing, and it was just, I found it really interesting. Well, we tried the different things, the weights in the gym and table tennis and all sorts of stuff. So it was nothing really too serious, but on the mental side for me, it was fabulous. It really helped me a great deal.
With Slavko made me do some breathing exercises, which I found incredible, because he was breathing against what you normally do, but they work wonderfully. And a lot of it is just mind relaxation, just not emptying your mind, which I tried to do, which I was told is impossible, but just catalogue your mind, so you're only thinking about one thing at a time instead of leaping from pillar to post like I was.
I know for a fact that when I go in May to have another mammogram, because I've had my this May just gone was my first year. This year now coming is my second year. So I know that when that comes along, I'll be able to use what Slavka's taught me to calm me and not worry about it so much. And I know that I won't be so anxious.
I know how to combat it, that's the thing. Before I didn't know how to combat it. I just used to sit there and wallow. Now I can fight it back.
In my mind, when somebody says a laughter club, you naturally assume that you're there to make people laugh, or other people are there to make you laugh, and it doesn't work like that at all. It is literally about learning to laugh for no reason whatsoever, and letting that emotion take hold of you and, you know, fill again any negative thoughts that you may have. So you might be feeling down, you might be feeling upset. If you can laugh for no reason, it automatically changes your mood. So that's what that club was about, and I find that I can laugh naturally.
Slavka comes along and runs through a fair old routine of the way that people laugh and gets everybody engaging in laughter about the most silly things. You know, just going ho, 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 ho. But then everybody starts laughing because they're going to start smiling, and then they break out into laughter. And so there's a great interaction between the people in the workshops, and particularly from Slavka, who really engages. And we've had 2 in our group in the last year and a bit, and both of them have been sort of sellouts. And unfortunately, on the first one, we got told in the Hereford Leisure Centre to shut up because there was so much noise going on.
We started working with the Mustard Tree in 2011, and they kindly came into the workplace at Cornwall Council and offered a range of focus groups for people that were going through cancer or had been through cancer and remained at work. From the focus groups, it was quite clear that half of the people that had been with cancer had had a really, really positive experience. And the main reasons they had a positive experience at work was because their line management support. So they were introducing things like flexible working and supporting people to remain in the work. And we know that work is good for people. The other group didn't have good line management support and actually didn't have a good experience of cancer in the workplace. So over the last 2 years we've developed a course with the Mustard Tree. We've trained over 250 managers in Cornwall Council to look at difficult conversations around cancer in the workplace. The training's been absolutely fantastic. They've talked through a whole range of subjects, especially looking at cancer. The actual training is very much transferable skills as well, so even if managers haven't got employees with cancer, they can use the skills they've learned on a whole range of subjects. I think that the key for us is that we don't want managers, and they're never going to be experts in cancer, but we want them to have the conversations with staff early on, so tools can be put in place to support people with cancer to remain in work.
I think historically we've all worked really well together to make sure that the patient journey is as good as it can be. I think if you're diagnosed with cancer, you know, it is a tough old journey. You do need lots of support and information, and I think we do that relatively well, but I think because the Living With and Beyond Cancer team is almost new to that kind of pot of everybody helping, I think that's changing the way that we're thinking about that journey and acknowledging that after all that medical treatment has finished, there is this precipice as a patient that you stand on, and you wait for somebody to either catch you or fall, and hopefully what we're here to do is be the net to catch patients and help them move forward with their lives.
The support that's here is really second to none. And it's an organisation. Macmillan is an organisation that is frightfully successful and terribly, terribly good. But it's the individual people, and certainly at Hereford, the individual people are those who run this place, are those we can turn to. They're always here for us, you know, if we need them. It's an amazing, amazing thing, and this Cancer and Wellbeing Day, Living Beyond, is a terrific, terrific do.